Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grapperinos, the wrestling pizzeria where we serve you a slice of probably next week on Raw. I'm Bryon. Joining me in this endeavor, LA Knight fanboy, Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Yes, bro. This is the time that he finally gets a push. Though he's going up against Roman Reigns again, so I doubt he'll actually win. But a man can dream, Ryan. A man can dream.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, this is a very special episode because, we're going to have to rapid fire stuff. So, let's get to it then. You know how it works. We book based on these rules. We tell you what we think will happen based on, what we put out here. Then we watch the actual next episode when it comes out. We score our predictions and bookings based on this scoring system. And then we tell you what we got on the next episode of this show. So, scores. I have 4 points. Dom and JD appearance and division winning. So that's 4 points for me. What about you, Mike?
Yes, I had 2 points. We had a lot of stuff booked last week already. I had 1 point from the Joe Hendry and Danhausen promo, and I had 1 point from the Seth Rollins and Roman face-off, and that was it.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what is announced for next week. We got the Luchador tournament to see who loses against Roman Reigns. Let's be honest, that person's gonna lose. Okay. Let's not mince words here. Anything other than that announced, Mike? I don't think there's any other...
No, I don't believe there was anything else announced.
Alright, well, let's get to it then. Let's get to my card. Let's book this thing, blah blah blah. We'll start off with the Bloodline coming out. The Usos and Jacob Fatu, they come out, talk about the street fight and how Jacob won against Royce Keys. They send a warning shot to Solo because they are coming for him. They also talk about LA Knight and how he is challenging Roman for the title. They make fun of him for being Golden Jobber and having to enlist Solo and Royce to help combat the Bloodline. They won't help him against Roman because Roman is on the league of his own. They are interrupted by LA Knight, who roasts him, and their warning shot nonsense by saying they're firing blanks or whatever the hell. He says he will beat Roman wherever the match is because he is hungrier than ever before. And now he has the help of Solo and Royce to combat this stupid-ass faction and end them once and for all. Jacob Fatu steps up to LA Knight. LA Knight keeps saying, "You can't touch me, bro." Tribal Chief says, "You can't." LA takes the opportunity, which pushes Jacob away from LA Knight, and security come out to separate them. Solo attacks the rest of the Bloodline from the back. Royce comes in as well. Main event match is announced. Which is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. So there you go. Rusev versus Dragon Lee is up next. This happens because Javon Evans versus Ethan Page was last week. This ends in another DQ because we got the Big Cass coming in. He eliminates Dragon Lee while Rusev is down. Big Cass then walks to the back after a beatdown is over. And we move on to a backstage segment where he gets interviewed by some lady. She's running up to him, asking him why he beat down Dragon Lee. And he says he is just like Javon Evans. He is just in his way, and that he's here to get what he wants. He walks away without explaining anymore, and a match is announced for next week, which is Big Cass versus Javon Evans and Dragon Lee in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And that's where we'll have Big Cass get put over as a big, strong boy who can put down the jobbers. I guess if you consider them jobbers. Oba Femi is up next. Speaking of big, strong boys, he walks to the ring. He cuts basically the same promo as he did last week. He gets interrupted by Division. Austin Theory talks about how Oba Femi won against Brock Lesnar, and yet he hasn't faced his greatest challenge yet. Bron Breakker is just staring at Oba the whole way, not saying anything. They then get attacked by Alpha Academy from behind. The referee is brought out to control the chaos as it leads into Akira Tozawa versus Austin Theory. This is to help build up the Tag Team Championship match at Saturday Night's main event. I'll have Austin Theory win by pinfall. And Division beat up Alpha Academy after the match. They then raise their titles at them in the audience, and they leave. And that's when Alpha Academy will get some help from Chad Gable. They'll apologize to him for treating him badly, and that's when Chad Gable will cause Alpha Academy to get those titles. I'm assuming at Saturday Night's main event, so there you go. Becky Lynch comes out. She talks about what happened last week. She says she is back to get the Women's Intercontinental Championship from that no-good Raquel Rodriguez. She is then interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer, who says she also wants the same thing and that there's only one thing to solve this, having us fight each other to see who gets Raquel and to do it here right now. Becky Lynch agrees and the referee gets out to start the match as Stephanie Vaquer takes on Becky Lynch. DQ happens because, well, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez come in to beat down both of them. A match is announced next week, and it will be Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaquer taking on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Or, maybe put Roxanne in there, I suppose, as well. And a women's intercontinental match will be announced as Saturday Night's main event, as Becky Lynch takes on Raquel Rodriguez. And we'll have Raquel go over because Becky Lynch is old news. So, there you go. Penta versus Laredo Kid in the Who Gets Fed to Roman at some point when they go up against AEW tournament. I will have Laredo Kid win because, it's a AAA thing. Roman Reigns is a WWE superstar, so why not just put a AAA guy in there? I don't care who wins. Person gets fed to Roman, so who cares? Backstage, we have Bloodline 2000 2.0. The Usos get on a phone call with Roman. They talk about what happened on the opening segment. Roman gets angry that they aggravated LA Knight. He keeps saying that he will handle him on his own and doesn't need their help, and that they should focus on Royce and Solo. They don't tell him about the main event, and the Usos just say, okay, we are sorry. We'll just yeet on. They tell Jacob to go out there and beat LA Knight's ass, because the tribal chief says so, kind of, lying in there. Jacob Fatu says, aight, and we move on to that match. He kind of walks to the ring for this one. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, and LA Knight walks after. LA Knight wins by pinfall because we gotta build up, LA Knight's credibility. This happens because of a distraction from Sol Sikoa and Royce Keys. After the match, the rest of the Bloodline pour out. A brawl occurs around the ring, with the Bloodline 2000 2.0 coming out on top when the segment ends. So, I think this leads to Roman coming back. He sorts these things out with the Bloodline 2000 2.0. He calls them, liars, and they couldn't get the job done and all that. He has to kind of wrangle them. And we'll have the MFT get in the mix. This is just set up for the War Games match, so there you go. I think Roman wins against LA Knight because I just don't trust this company at all. Because they don't care about LA Knight, as seen previously. So, any questions?
Yeah, again, I guess I have to ask you, where do you think LA Knight ends up? Do you think he's gonna job again? Do you think this is actually a legitimate push? Where do you think this whole thing ends up, Bryan? Or do you think he stays locked in the Bloodline vortex?
Yes, he stays in the Bloodline vortex at least until after the War Games match is done. We'll put LA Knight in the War Games match as well. I think it's going to be LA Knight, the MFTs, which I thought they were called the Tongans, but I guess we're rebranding them to MFT, so what was the point? Anyway, we're gonna have Solo, Royce Keys, LA Knight, and the Tongans / the MFTs. And they go up against the Bloodline. Plus, an additional heel. Or Roman Reigns, you can put that in there. So, yeah, Bloodline Vortex until, let's just say, after the Bloodline thing. After he loses, he kind of blames the Bloodline. It's like, I'm going to end this stupid faction once and for all, and I'm going to recruit everyone. So, that's the setup for the War Games match, and yeah. He loses. I do not trust this company.
Okay. Yes, I agree with you. I am ready for my card grind, and I will also be making sure that LA Knight ends up jobbing out to Roman Reigns yet again. So.
All right. Well, we'll start off then with.
So we start off first with Adam Pearce in the ring. Adam Pearce, now freshly the Raw general manager. He was previously the Raw and SmackDown GM while Nick Aldis was busy dealing with Gunther. He's now back on Raw, and he introduces the tournament to crown a new number one contender from a group of luchadores that will be fighting Roman Reigns in Raw in Mexico City, I believe later this month. So if you actually look at this tournament, I'll go over what Adam Pearce is going to say first, but basically he goes over the competitors, and he's interrupted by Dominic Mysterio and JD Nick Donut. So Dominic comes out and says that he's absolutely offended that Adam Pearce did not put the king of the luchadors himself, Dominic Mysterio, in the tournament. He threatens to beat up Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce tells Dominic to look at what Nick Aldis did to Gunther before he thinks about doing this. After this, Penta then interrupts all of them, makes his way down to the ring. He says Dominic is not a real luchador, and after this, JD and Dominic attack Penta. Chad Gable then runs out to save his friend Penta, and this is how the segment ends. So if you look at the actual tournament bracket, Penta is really the only guy on there that has, I believe, a championship caliber resume, because it's like Penta, I think El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., which is a long ass fucking name. I think it's Psycho Clown, Laredo Kid, Dragon Lee, Ray Phoenix. It's a bunch of different guys that are on there. El Fiscal and La Parka. Okay, you know what? Actually, I would love to see La Parka. In a fucking fight Roman Reigns. I thought it might have been El Grande Americano, but that's not happening. Or may, who knows. But yes, after this, we go into the first fight of the night, which is the aforementioned number one contendership match. This is between Penta and Laredo Kid. Penta obviously wins this one. I think Penta is the favorite to go on and face Roman Reigns. So Penta wins this one via pinfall pretty handedly. So after this, Becky Lynch is interviewed. She returned last week as a face, and she explains why she did so. She said that she went away for a while after her loss and thought about her actions, and that she wants to be a better person for the younger generation that are coming up in business, and that is why she is going to help fight the Judgment Day, saying that she wants to take back her Intercontinental title and give someone who actually deserves it a real shot. She is then confronted by Stephanie Vaquer, who informs her that they will have a match later tonight against the Judgment Day. So Stephanie Vaquer also returned last week as well, so we'll see if she gets another shot at the women's title, or not. I don't know. We'll see. She's very much over because of the one move she does, and that's it. So after this, we have Javon Evans Big Cass making a return, fighting Javon Evans. So Big Cass came back last week and attacked Javon Evans for some reason before making a short promo. They're sort of pushing him as the next big monster archetype. They seem to lack a couple of monsters on Raw. I mean, they have Oba Femi is really the only one. You got Big Cass now as well, who will be in here. He's more of a mid-card guy, because you really can't put Oba Femi in the mid-card. It's kind of wasting his his star power. So Big Cass will fit very nicely in the mid card as a monster heel. But anyway, Big Cass ends up winning this one via pinfall. Javon Evans can job out for a minute. He'd afford to be a jobber to put Big Cass over in his inaugural match. So where Big Cass goes from here, probably the IC title scene, I would assume. Maybe going after Chad Gable would be an interesting first opponent for him. So after this match, our resident Golden Jobber himself, LA Knight, is interviewed. LA Knight is interviewed, and he said he is asked if he saw what Jacob Fatu did last week to Royce Keys. Jacob Fatu basically laid out Royce Keys and left him unconscious in the ring. LA Knight says he did, and he's going to give Jacob Fatu the receipt that he deserves because he knows that no one in the Bloodline can beat him one-on-one, and that is what everybody is saying because he is not a jobber. He is LA Knight. So, after this is Akira Tozawa versus Austin Theory. So we already had this start to the feud where the Vision ended up beating the Alpha Academy before SummerSlam. Nothing really happened at SummerSlam, so I think this continues the feud. This happened last week where Bron Breakker was fighting, I think it was Joe Hendry. Yes, it was Joe Hendry. And he attacked. Akira Tozawa came out to help Joe Hendry, ended up taking out Austin Theory, but it wasn't enough to give Joe Hendry the win, so I think that Austin Theory wants a receipt this week, and he does get it. He wins via pinfall. I think Bron Breakker interferes, taking out both Akira Tozawa and Otis. Joe Hendry runs in for the save, but he is taken out by Bron Breakker as well. Bron Breakker then grabs the mic and proceeds to call out Oba Femi. It seems like they're pushing this Bron Breakker and Oba Femi angle. It's been hinted at. Bron Breakker has been asking Paul Heyman where Oba Femi is, and I think they're going to go with it, which, I mean, man, poor Bron Breakker, bro. They're about to feed this ass to Oba Femi. Damn. He's about to enter LA Knight territory, I would say, Brian. He's about to enter LA Knight territory. So, what sucks? Hey, you know what? Maybe his cousin will end up joining WWE if he falls out of the NFL, and they can form a discount version of the Steiner brothers. So, anyway, backstage segment. Oba Femi cuts a vignette, says he has been thinking about his next opponent very wisely since he beat Brock Lesnar and retired him. He's looked at the entire roster of Raw and SmackDown and NXT to determine who would be the best opponent for Oba Femi to go after next. And he will be revealing this soon, probably in a forthcoming episode of Raw. Again, I think what we're going to do is go towards Bron Breakker versus Oba Femi, probably at Survivor Series. I think what's going to happen is we're building for the dissolution of the Vision, and because Bron Breakker is continuing to act independent of the rest of the Vision, and it seems like Paul Heyman is trending towards being a guy for Oba Femi. At least it seems that way. He's going to be an Oba Femi guy, which I thought was going to happen at SummerSlam, but it didn't. So I think that he's going to end up becoming Oba Femi's manager at some point down the line. So after this, we have the semi-main event. We have Stephanie Vaquer and Becky Lynch versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. I think Stephanie and Becky win this one via pinfall on Roxanne Perez. I think Liv Morgan attempts to interfere, but Sol Ruca appears and manages to even the odds, and that is why the faces win. I am assuming that Vaquer gets another attempt at Liv's title because we need someone to fucking make an attempt at Liv's title because no one else has really done so except for Io Sky. So, and she should have won anyway, but she didn't. So, oh well. After this, we have the main event, which is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I am going to go out on a limb here and say that LA Knight wins because of 50-50 booking. I know I said that LA Knight would lose, but I think that here he ends up winning because Jacob Fatu won last week. I think that Solo Sikoa actually comes out this time to assist LA Knight, which continues to make Jacob Fatu look strong. Solo is then chased off by Jimmy, but LA Knight is able to finish off Jacob Fatu and pick up the dub. The rare dub for LA Knight in the main event. So I think this just continues the Bloodline Vortex with LA Knight and Solo Sikoa, with Royce Keys being seemingly written off TV. I don't know where this goes. I don't know if Solo Sikoa eventually turns and LA Knight becomes a jobber once again, but it remains to be seen. Like I said at the top of this show, a man can dream, Bryon. And my dream is that LA Knight finally wins the title. At least once, even if it's for like a week, like Sami Zayn. At least we can say he was a champion. So, do you have any questions, Bryon?
Yeah. I was just gonna say that, we gotta give him some momentum. The company has to pretend that they care about LA Knight until, we dash your dreams of having him win. But anyway, so where do you think Bron sort of goes? I'm assuming this Bron versus Oba thing is going to be a WrestleMania next year kind of feud, since they're kind of like teasing it right now. Or I'm assuming maybe at the end of the year. I don't know, but it seems like a future kind of feud. So where does Bron kind of go? Also, I didn't know that he had a cousin, so this is new information to me.
Well, I believe, isn't Bron Breakker Rick Steiner's
son
nephew?
or uncle?
Right, son.
Or Rick Steiner's uncle.
But Scott Steiner's son, I believe. I think his name is Breck.
All right.
Breck Steiner, I think.
Yeah.
He was drafted this year by the New Orleans Saints. And he's playing in the NFL right now. I think he actually just got suspended for steroid use, which does not surprise me. So if he ends up falling out, because I don't think he is high up on the depth chart, I think he was like a late round pick, I could 100% see him, joining the WWE and teaming up with Bron Breakker to form like a new Steiner tag team, which for me would be great. It'd be hilarious, but I don't know.
It would be a great tag team.
So it was pretty sick. When they did his rookie photo shoot, they actually gave him like the chainmail to wear in the photo shoot. So if you ever look at his photo shoot, he's got like the Scott Steiner chainmail. Very nice.
Nice.
So
well, let's just say his cousin got Steinerized right there. Anyway. No pop. Who takes on Liv Morgan and who takes on Raquel? I know that you sort of booked a tag team match here between these two faces and these two heels, but I'm guessing they don't want to do Liv versus Stephanie again and sort of risk being that, repetitive kind of feud kind of deal. So, I don't know. What do you think is sort of the next step for this feud, I suppose, and who takes part in it for Liv and Raquel?
So I would agree with you, Bryon, but I mean, who else is there to fight Liv Morgan on Raw? I mean, there really isn't anyone else. I've heard that there might be an NXT call-up. I think it's Lola Vice.
Oh!
Was reported to be called up, assumedly.
Or she is.
Oops. I heard they tried trademarking Vice City for use in sports entertainment, and I was like, brother.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Take-Two has that one locked down, fam. So, sorry. Anyway, I don't know who else is available. I mean, Io Sky tried and failed. roster again.
Their lawyer's like, you're trying to trademark Vice City? That doesn't work for me, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother. I mean, you have Bailey, who I think, I don't even know if she's going to be on the roster coming soon.
You got Lyra, who is busy
You got
being
Lyra,
a schizo.
who is heel.
So
You got Lyra, who's a heel. And then you have Naomi, who's out. You have Solruka, who is the IC, who is in the IC title scene. And Stephanie Vaquer. And that's it. So I don't know who else you have other than Stephanie Vaquer. And she is very much over because she does the one move that everyone likes. So, simple process of elimination. There's literally no one else for Liv Morgan to face at this point.
she's got a 100% chance of winning. 150%.
They really should move a couple of the women from SmackDown over to Raw. There's like way too many main event women on SmackDown. Like,
Yeah.
they need to move one of them over to Raw at least, I think.
Or just call up more people from NXT, I guess. That also works. Bro, you're not using Julia.
That too.
Just like put her on Raw, for God's sake. Anyway, that's enough complaining. Okay, well, that's about it, I guess. As I said, rapid fire edition. So here you go. Here's what I and Mike think will happen. And as I stated earlier, we will score predictions and bookings based on, well, what we put out here, and we'll come back on the next episode and we'll tell you what we got. So until then, thank you for ordering a quick slice of probably next week on Raw from Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, everybody.